Oh, Karma is my boyfriend.
Next.
I don't know.
Karma is a god.
Welcome to ThreadTalk Podcast. If you guys are new, then you probably don't know, but we're a big Swifties over here. And this was Teresa's episode idea.
I love that you said we.
We are big Swifties. Oh my gosh, there she goes. I was actually going to say, guys, drop it down in the comments for how long you think Luna's going to stay on the shelf for. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We got 15 seconds. So there goes that. Bye,
She
Luna.
looked comfy before.
I thought she was good. She was happy. Came into the podcast studio and she was just laying underneath one of the chairs. I knew as soon as I sat down she was going to run away, so I just picked her up and put her on the shelf, but it didn't work out.
Darn it.
She's been saying the last couple episodes we've been catless.
We have been catless.
No cats in frame.
No cats. They only sleep here on the shelf when we are not filming.
Yeah. They stand in front of us and they just stare at us. You know what we're going to do when we upgrade to our house and we have a podcast room? I'm going to set up a second camera and it's going to watch them. And I'm going to put that like the bottom right in the corner of the screen.
I love it. Like Luna cam,
there's
Jack
a
cam.
Cat cam. Cat cam for the next. That's an upgrade. So if
love
you guys stick around for future episodes, maybe there'll be a cat cam in the future. So yeah, let's get into it. We got some karma-tastic episodes, stories for you guys. Episode 70.
Whoa!
Another milestone.
70?
Coming up on 100.
70 is big?
I don't know. It's like another 10, you know? We were going through the 60s. Now everything starts with a 7.
Yeah, I guess.
Ba-bam!
Yeah.
7's lucky number.
Is it?
Deuces.
Doesn't deuce mean 2?
Yeah, I don't know why I said that.
What?
No, that's why I know. There's this dirt bike rider, and he always says his number was 7 deuce deuce, but there's the 7. I don't know why. I'm going off. I've got 8 stories. Teresa's got 6. We'll have a good time. If any of them get left over in the next 2 hours, we'll throw those up on our Patreon. But strap in a ThreadTalk podcast. If you guys are new, you're gonna get about 2 hours worth of stories.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be a good time. I read, Teresa reads. We're blind reaction to each other's stories, and it's always a good time here at ThreadTalk. I'm doing my sales pitch for the new people.
Yeah, I think you're doing a great job.
The new people that have no idea what they're about to get into.
Well, why don't we just get into it then?
Let's get into it.
Go ahead.
Am I the asshole for potentially being the reason my father and his wife can adopt or foster? So my father and his wife were unable to have children together. He has me, 16 male, from his marriage to my mom, which ended because he cheated on her with his now wife. The affair was found out when I was 7 and my mom left him straight after. I split time between both of them, unfortunately, which meant I was around my father and his wife a lot, and she tried to be my second mom to me, which I think was shitty after she knowingly slept with a married man, and she was dating his best friend at the time too. My mom died when I was 12. Then I had to live with my father and his wife and had no escape for them. They tried to make me forgive them / let go of what happened, and they did a bunch of therapy with me. But I always told them I would stop speaking to him as soon as I turned 18.
Damn.
They found out 3 years ago that they could not have kids together, and almost 2 years ago started the process to adopt a baby from foster care. During the process, I was interviewed. This was in February of this year. I was asked questions about my relationship with my parents, which I corrected and told them that she is not my parent, and he only was because of blood. Then they asked how I would feel about a sibling, and I told them I would have nothing to do with one and was planning to move and never speak to my father again once I turned 18. The social worker looked kind of alarmed by that. She asked me about my father's family, and I said they disowned him after he cheated, and so did all of his friends. Soon after the interviews were done, they were rejected and told that they could not provide a suitable environment for a child. My father's wife fell apart. I heard her say mom must have been cursing her from beyond the grave. She's really religious and does believe people can send good or bad luck from beyond the grave. She's still not over the news, and a few weeks ago my father was telling me I should take pity on her and at least be friendly to her. I asked why I would do that, and he said her dream of motherhood is over. I told him I don't care. He asked me if I had something to do with that. I shrugged. He then went off on me, saying it was cruel to punish them this long. He said they could have provided a child with so much love, and it was wrong to say things that got in the way of that. She sobbed for a week when he told her. Am I the asshole?
No, I don't think he didn't do it intentionally, honestly. I think he was just straight up telling the truth.
As much as I could agree that, he could have provided the child with so much love, your past actions need to be held accountable.
Exactly.
And if someone tells the truth and you are not approved for something, you did not do anything wrong.
No, you're literally just showing the social worker that what has happened to you, and that is their job, to figure out if they are well fit enough to be a parent. And this information is necessary.
Exactly. You are getting karma.
Yeah, no, it is karma. I would say it's not really revenge, it's more karma, which
Yeah.
is, yeah.
He didn't do anything revengeful. He just
No.
told the truth.
Exactly.
Social workers looking at it and being like, okay, so you cheated on your ex-wife with her. That means that you're a cheater. So potentially in the future, one of you or both of you could cheat on each other and then no longer have a stable home for a child.
100%.
Why would a social worker ever approve that?
Exactly. I love that he was very forthright with, like, once I turn 18, it's over for you bitches.
Yeah.
I'm never going to speak to you again.
It's harsh. Poor guy. Poor kid.
No, not harsh. Oh, harsh what happened to him.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
just the harsh. He's got to live through all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Top comment, not the asshole. You were asked questions and you answered them honestly. As long as there were no lies, then you did nothing wrong. It amazes me the amount of people that break up a home, move in / marry an affair partner, and then they're all shocked Pikachu face that their kids aren't happy about it and resent the parent for it. Also, sorry for your mother. OP does reply and say, no lies, I told the truth. It only would have been a lie if I had pretended I would be a brother to a kid they adopted and pretending we had a good or even okay relationship.
Exactly. That would have made you an asshole. That would have made you an asshole to this future kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
he did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on over to you.
Alrighty.
Going rapid fire this episode.
All right. I wanted to be petty during my stepsister's wedding, but karma got her and my family bad. I'm using a temporary account. When I, 29 female, was little, like 7 years old, my dad cheated on my mother with my stepmom, Karen. After her divorce, my mom moved away and got married again. I was always under the impression that my mother abandoned me, and that's what my dad told me too. Karen had a daughter at the time who was 5, Mia. Mia and I were kind of close growing up, but when we both hit puberty, our personalities changed and we were different. Mia was a typical girly girl. She developed beautifully. She was basically like Casey from Euphoria. She would get all the attention. Even my relatives preferred her over me. I was basically a nerd. I was interested in sports, but I was told that I do not look bad and I am very attractive and pretty in my own way. But I was overshadowed by Mia. My dad was someone who was an opportunist. Whenever he would see an opportunity for him to shine, he would take it, even if it meant sidelining his own daughter. He saw that Mia got more attention than me, so he invested everything on her. I was kind of jealous, not gonna lie. But I wasn't really that bothered because I believed if I did something good, I would be appreciated. So I studied hard and got into a prestigious university. That was the only time my father threw me a party because I was the first in my family to do it. But Mia was jealous of it. So anyways, during my last year of high school, I started dating Tim. He proposed to me when we were sophomores in college, but we decided to wait till our graduation. So one day during our semester break, I went to his home and I saw him fucking Mia. I was shocked to say the least. I remember I was crying and screaming at him. I could never forget the smirk on Mia's face. That's when I knew Mia was a bitch. So my dad and my stepmom knew about it, and guess what? My dad told me to forgive them. His logic was, quote, Tim fell out of love with me, so he fell in love with your sister. You should give them your blessing instead of being petty. I shouted back that, of course you would say that because you cheated on mom. My dad and me had a screaming match. He told me he would disown me if I did not accept them and come to their wedding. I remember that I stormed off and I cried for like days. That's the moment I realized I was alone. My dad didn't care if I was dead or alive, but thank God I had friends who I could count on. I started therapy after a friend of mine pushed me to do it. It did help a bit, but in my mind, I wanted some revenge. I wanted to be petty and make her regret. I started thinking what I could do. My initial plan was to wear white on her wedding day, but then I ran into Mia's ex, Jay. Jay and Mia have been one of those couples who were on again, off again. Mia exploited Jay a lot. The last time they broke up was when Jay caught Mia flirting with one of his friends, but there was a lot of history. So when Jay learned about Mia and Tim, he was a little angry. He kept saying he wishes he could just take revenge on all the times Mia had done him wrong. So I had another plan. I asked him to be my plus one at her wedding. I know Mia still has feelings for Jay. It would piss her off. But we agreed that after that we would part ways. So when the wedding came, I was not in the wedding party. My dad was cordial with me because I wasn't creating trouble. So I went to her wedding with Jay, and I was wearing a bright red dress because I read that red means you slept with the groom. It was also over the top. I might have made some heads turn. When Mia saw me with Jay, her face turned pale. I was purposely being very touchy with Jay, like whispering in his ear, touching his shoulder, dancing with him very closely. I swear Mia was just as red as my dress. I was also asked to give a speech. I kept it short, quote, "Thank God I do not have more sisters, otherwise Tim would have swapped Mia with one of them. You know, he has a fetish for fucking his fiance's sisters behind her back." Me and Jay were asked to leave. The next day, I was bombarded with messages and phone calls. I didn't pick any of them up. As for Jay, he stuck to our deal and I never saw him again. After the wedding incident, I decided I should find my mom because something in me was telling me that she didn't abandon me. It wasn't hard to find her. I found her on Facebook and we started chatting. She is married and has 2 boys, my half brothers. I got the real story from her. She didn't abandon me. My father won the custody case. He used my mom's past substance abuse to take away her visitation rights, too. We reconciled, and for the first time in my life, I felt welcomed. I also met my stepfather and my 2 brothers. They are amazing people. Since then, I would regularly meet them. 2 years after the wedding incident, I met a guy, Andy. We met during an alumni program in our college. He also went to our college, but he was 5 years older. We had a lot in common. He was kind, sweet, and very mature. He knows about my past and has been really supportive. He was better than Tim in every way. He was charming and had a really higher position in his job. After 2 years, my sister contacted me out of the blue and told me she was pregnant and she now wants to bury the hatchet. I was very reluctant. I was afraid that she would try to steal Andy away from me as well. But Andy reassured me that he is not that weak. Honestly, I did want to meet my dad again, so I gave it a shot anyways. I went to dinner with Andy, and to my surprise, Tim recognized him. It was later revealed to me that Andy was basically Tim's boss. This is a fact I didn't know. My dad and stepmom brought me to the corner and said that my relationship with Andy is unacceptable because I am trying to hurt my sister by dating Tim's boss. I told them to fuck off. My love life is none of their business. The dinner went sour. After that, I got a drunken call from Tim that he is very unhappy with my sister and that he actually wants to escape. He never knew what he lost until he saw me with Andy. I ignored him totally. Then the phone calls didn't stop. First, it was my dad telling me that dating Andy is causing tension between my sister and Tim. I told him their marital life is none of my business. I got a call from my stepsister who asked if she could come to my house and talk. I told her after the dinner party I want nothing to do with any of them. That bitch didn't listen. Instead, she went to Andy's office to convince him to talk to me. Of course, Tim saw this and accused her of trying to seduce Andy like she seduced him. Long story short, Andy had to fire Tim for his misbehavior. This caused even more tension. Tim became verbally abusive towards Mia and said his life was ruined because of her. They separated. Tim is trying to figure out how he can handle the divorce proceedings. After the Tim and Mia drama, my dad suddenly showed up in my apartment. He was bawling his eyes out that he caught Karen sleeping with his male cousin. He was devastated. So I told him what he told me when Tim cheated on me. Karen fell out of love with you, so she fell in love with your cousin. You should give them your blessing instead of being petty. My dad was confused. I further told him, well, you taught me this, remember? When I was sad about Tim cheating on me with Mia, you told me to forgive them. My father's face was rotten, to say the least. Now I have 2 family members who are going through a divorce. Tim and Mia tried to reconcile, but eventually they settled for divorce. My dad did apologize to me for what he did to me and my mom. I told him that he deserved what's coming for him and that I have no feelings left for him, not even pity. If the time ever comes, I might forgive him, but I don't want him anymore. He will not be walking me down the aisle. Andy and I recently engaged. We are having a small ceremony with just close friends and family. I was only planning for a petty revenge, but karma got them better. I guess it is what they deserve for being such shitty people. I know this sounds like a work of fiction, but it's not. Real life is stranger than fiction. I might update if something big happens, but right now I am busy with wedding planning.
Damn. Karma is my boyfriend. You know, it doesn't surprise me though, because I feel like anybody who cheats, like is willing to like cheat, like that shit comes around again. Like Tim got jealous that she was gonna try to seduce Andy because
Why?
she seduced him.
Exactly. He has trust issues. Like, you're going into a relationship that was built on lies.
Exactly.
Lies, cheating.
If they'll cheat with you, they'll cheat on you.
Like, that is not a foundation that you want to have. Like, you're always going to have in the back of your mind, like,
Back of your lymph node.
oh, words are hard. In the back of your mind that is she going to do this with someone else? Like, is she going to get bored of me? Like, she got bored with her old boyfriend? Like,
Yeah, like how could you ever have trust? So like it just I just think always a cheater, once a cheater, always a cheater is such a true saying in my head.
yes. We have had a couple comments that have said that their cheating relationship is going strong.
Good for you guys. Good for you guys. I'm very happy for you. I am sorry. I do not agree. And that's just a personal opinion. But I'm happy it's working out for you guys. Me personally, I would just have like just constant anxiety and constant
Yeah.
suspicion. And I wouldn't be down for that at all. I'm not down
Agreed.
for it. If
Yeah.
you're down for it and you can handle it, that's cool. I can't handle it. I'm out. No more piace.
No mi piace.
No more piace. I can't wait for the Q&A segment at the end of this episode. It's gonna be good. Buonanotte.
All right. There is an update that says, "Hi everyone. Boy, I have been bombarded with messages and comments a lot. I don't understand why you think the story is fake, but this is real. I know people will say it's fake, but I'm glad even if you guys thought it was fake, it was good enough for you. So I just want to clear a few things up. First of all, I called Mia Casey because she kind of looks like the actress and also because she always likes being the center of attention. But I was not some ugly duckling as well. I just didn't want to grab too much attention to myself."
Do you know who Casey is?
Is that Sydney Sweeney?
Yeah.
I thought so. We never watched Euphoria, but
No, we did. We started watching the first season. We got like 3 episodes in or something,
Yeah.
like 2. And I was just like, I'm not down for this.
it gave me anxiety.
It was like high school drama anxiety of like the 10th T
Yeah.
of like social media. And I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
It's definitely like a 2020 plus teenager generation kind of show.
Yeah. 2, my dad was a very image-obsessed person. That's why he always favored Mia over me because she was the type to grab attention. The only time he actually favored me is when I got into a prestigious university. But other than that, I was pretty invisible to him because I was a reminder of his failed marriage. 3, about the red dress. I was actually planning to wear white, but at the time I read in some magazine that wearing red in a wedding means that you had sex with the groom and it was vibrant red. But to be honest, I don't think people got it. I should have stuck with white, lol. 4, I did not know that Tim was working under Andy, because when I heard Andy was Tim's boss, he only started working at the company for like 3 months. I have went to Andy's office a few times, but only during lunchtime and never ran into Tim. So I hope I cleared it up. Sorry it was not much of an update. I am busy with my wedding. Also, because of my mother's request, I have decided to contact my dad. I am willing to invite him to my wedding. It is short notice, and I will cover his flight and stay. But I will be putting some boundaries. I do not want Karen and Mia at my wedding. My dad can walk me down the aisle along with my stepdad. My stepdad is a wonderful human. I know a lot of you will say my dad doesn't deserve it, but he is still my dad. He is trying his best to connect with me. I can be amicable with him. And taking away this opportunity for him seems really cruel.
Why would it be cruel? He already got
You're a big person.
Yeah, he already got it with Mia. So
Exactly.
I just don't understand as a parent how you can like blatantly choose one kid over another. How can you just be like, you're my favorite, grabbing attention? I don't understand that. I'm not a parent, so clearly I don't understand it.
Yeah.
As an uncle, I only have one nibbling, so I don't know what that's gonna be like.
You've already said that you're scared. You're scared you won't love the new kid as much as Andrew.
Yeah, but
You voiced that fear, I think, on the podcast as well.
you bury that fear. You never let the kids see that.
Of course.
But I guess, if it is there, then I guess, yeah, it comes out sometimes. Like, what if, like, one of them, Alex or Andrew, and one of them is like,
We can't call him Alex.
Bass and Chris call him Alex.
Yeah, but he's not named Alex yet. He's still
Alex to be, or William, for Kat's take. I told Kat, I was like, if you want them to start thinking William, you need to like start calling him William when you talk about him. Don't let him not be named. You need to call him William, because when Madison and Chris talk about him, it's Alexander. But hypothetically, like, what if one of them just absolutely loves riding motocross and the other one's like, I'm not really down for it?
Then we have to do something else with him.
But how am I supposed to say to one of them, no, we can't go to the motocross track, buddy, because your brother doesn't want to go?
No, you don't have to take. I don't think you have to, like, if you're going to motocross, I don't think you have to take both of them.
What if I'm only going for them? For the one that wants to ride?
Yeah, you only take one.
Yeah.
Which I think is fine, but we just have to make sure that we, like, also indulge in the hobbies of the other kid.
Yeah. I hope I'm a big enough person to not get moto obsessed with the kid.
I hope so too.
Yeah, I can do it. I believe in me.
Do you think Luna and Jack knows who my favorite is?
I love them both equally, so I don't know how you have a favorite. That's rude.
You don't have a favorite, even 4951?
Honestly, I don't. I love them both equally.
I love them both equally too.
Like, I couldn't choose.
Me either.
If the house was on fire and I could only grab one of them, we're all dying. I'm just perish with them in the fire.
Same.
You're just a liar. You just literally have been hinting that you have a favorite. You're staring at Luna. Poor Jack. Poor Jack.
Jack's just not in my view right now.
Jack just came second, so he doesn't count.
I love Jack. No. It's just that Luna made me fall in love with cats. I hated cats before Luna. She changed me. She changed, like, the wiring in my brain.
Which is kind of funny because Luna didn't do anything. She just looked cute. Jack actually, like, loves you.
I know.
Like, the analogy of cats and dogs and who's a god and we're gods versus there being gods.
Jack is a dog.
Jack's on the dog side. Luna is a god.
Jack thinks we are the gods. Yes. And Luna thinks she is the god.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. Okay, let's move on. We are so excited to have Factor back as a sponsor on ThreadTalk podcast because we have been using Factor for nearly a year now.
Yeah. So you guys ready to optimize your nutrition this year? If you are, Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy.
They are dietitian approved and ready to eat in 2 minutes. So you can feel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you.
I think that's my favorite thing with the Factor meals. They're so convenient. Toss them in the microwave, heat them up, and they taste amazing. It's basically like meal prepping that I cook for myself without having to do all of that work.
Yes. It saves time with buying groceries, thinking about recipes to make, and actually doing the cooking.
That's a huge one because sometimes we just don't know what recipes to make. We'll go on and fight and bicker for like a half an hour trying to come up with recipe meals, where Factor, it completely eliminates that. Mm-hmm. So in a way, Factor's like kind of making our relationship better.
I agree. You can lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor's keto meals.
Yeah, even if you're just not looking for meal preps, but you're looking to like take control to like lose some weight. I actually went into my old work at BMW and I ran into my coworker and he looked completely different. He looked amazing. And when I asked him what he did, he's like, I just been eating Factor meals, 2 Factor meals a day. That's all I've been doing, cutting out the snacks and that's it. And he looked transformed, like a different person.
So reach your goals this year with ingredients you can trust and convenience you cannot beat.
So join us with Eating Factor meals every week, and you can support the show while you're at it. To eat smart with Factor, get started at factormeals.com/threadtalk50off and use that code threadtalk50off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping.
That's code ThreadTalk50off at factormeals.com/threadtalk50off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping.
Thanks for Factor for coming on board, and thank you guys for supporting us at Thread Talk Podcast. Now, back to the stories that you love. All right, back to me. This one's coming from r/malicious compliance. Title: You want every email that's addressed to you to arrive at your inbox? You got it, pal. So this just happened. My bosses and I are still laughing. We are a small IT company. We manage quite a few clients though. This one gentleman at one of our busier client sites says that he's tired of being told his emails never arrive to him. We look it up, and yes, a couple of legit emails got tangled up in the spam filter. No big deal. We whitelist the sender and release the message. No, not good enough for this guy. He calls back screaming, quote, "I order you to let any email addressed to me come to my inbox."
Jesus.
I advise him that I'm going to have to transfer him to IT security, and he's going to have to, on a recorded line, say he understands and accepts responsibility for yada yada yada. See, I did that because these guys get thousands of spam emails a day. A while back, several folks, this guy included, decided to give their email address and password to some unsavory website, then did it again and again and again. So now they easily get 15 to 20 plus messages per hour to the entire organization. So he accepts, saying he just wants all of his emails to go to him. We allow all messages to him to bypass a spam filter. 3 hours later, he has over 100 new emails, and they keep coming in. He calls back furious, asking why his spam filter isn't working. Quote, "Sir, you asked that all emails addressed to you arrive at your inbox."
I love it. Karma.
Right?
It's all.
It's like, try to explain it to you. We made you go to the recorded line because we warned you this was going to happen.
You literally tried to warn him, and his just like rage blinded him.
Yep.
Listen to the professionals.
So there's an update. Right now, it's around 4:45 today. He's calling our office, and the call gets routed to me since I own the ticket. He's livid, shouting so loud my coworkers on the opposite side of the room can hear him. Quote, "Whatever you did to my email, I want it put back to the way it was. You fucked up my email, and now I can't get any work done because my stupid notifications are going off every second." I calmly reply, "Absolutely. I'll go ahead and turn your spam filtering back on and all these emails will stop." "Good. That's what you should have done in the first place." At the end of it all, nothing changed and he's happy. God, I love IT work.
Damn. I feel like that's not good enough for me. I feel like I would want more than that.
Really? I mean, got 1,000 emails in a day.
Yeah, but now he's happy.
So there's
Doesn't deserve happiness.
So there's an edit. I had to. I logged into our system this morning from home and listened to the recording. It's glorious. Here's the highlights. Security. So, OP tells me you're looking to turn off your spam filter. Client. I don't even get spam. I'm paying you people for something I don't need. Security. It's not an added cost, but you're not getting spam because you have a spam filter. If you turn that off, you're going to get flooded with spam emails. Client. I don't care. I'm giving you guys an order, and I expect it to be done. Security. I just need you to be aware that without the spam filter, you're open to getting every spam email that comes to you. some of which may be malicious and could open you up to viruses, malware, and all sorts of software that could compromise your entire network. By going against our suggestions, you understand that our company cannot be held liable for any malicious software that makes it onto your network, infects any of your systems, or causes any system downtime that you are claiming sole responsibility for. Do you understand this? Yeah, whatever. Just get it done so I can get off this call. Sir, I really need to reiterate how much we cannot recommend this action. You're going to get... I don't care! Do what I tell you! Okay, I'll have OP remove you from the default spam rule, and you'll start receiving emails sent to you. Again, it's going to be a lot. Your spam filter actually does catch a lot of spam. I don't care! Just do it! Okay then. Thank you. Have a good day. Click.
You sounded like Taryn.
I should be a voice actor.
You should.
Oh, fuck. This is good. I'm happy. All right. Back to you.
Back to me.
I need to rest my vocal cords.
I agree.
I'm getting all ranges here. You're looking hella cute today, by the way.
Thank you. So sweet.
It's a nice ThreadTalk hat you got there.
Yes, it is.
You guys want your own ThreadTalk hat? ThreadTalkPodcast.com.
Alrighty. Am I the asshole for laughing at my crying ex-husband and calling his suffering karma? My ex-husband divorced me 3 years ago. When we got married, we agreed that we weren't going to have kids. I never wanted them. He said he didn't really want them. So yeah, 4 years into our marriage, he changed his mind and he chose to divorce me because I wouldn't go back on our agreement to give him children. I'm not really a big believer in divorce. I was ready to be married for the rest of our lives. We had a good marriage, but I guess he didn't love me that much if he picked kids that didn't even exist over me. Right after our divorce, he almost instantly remarried. He got his new wife pregnant right away and they had 2 kids together. In the 3 years since then, I've finished my higher education and have accepted a high-paying job in healthcare. Life has actually been pretty good to me. And I've gotten to the point where I think I'm ready to start looking to settle down. Yesterday morning, my ex-husband showed up at my doorstep crying. I figured something pretty awful must have happened, so I let him in and got him a drink. He started going on and crying about how awful his life is. He apparently hates his 2 kids. One of them is disabled and maybe autistic, and he has no money due to the kid being so expensive. His wife yells at him all the time. She got fat after having kids and doesn't want to lose the weight. She never puts out. He can never go anywhere anymore. He said that he wants a divorce from this new wife and he regrets ever leaving me. He asked if I would take him back and said he learned his lesson. I couldn't help but laugh at him. It was so pitiful. His audacity also kind of astounded me. I told him that with 2 kids to support and his lack of loyalty, he is not a catch, and I definitely won't take him back, and maybe this was karma for divorcing me. He was pissed, called me an asshole, and said he thought I would be more supportive and would at least turn him down nicely. Am I the asshole?
Well, you were dumb for thinking that. I'm dumb.
So naive.
Oh, dumbass. That's great. I would just belt out a nice chuckle.
You should really be a voice actor. What is going on today?
Just feeling good.
You should audition to be Taryn.
I'm just taking my job seriously.
Clearly.
Trying to put on a show. Trying to give our listeners
You're doing it.
entertainment. Drop it down in the comments if you appreciate my effort. Thank you. How do people apply to be voice actors? I feel like you gotta do the same thing. I would have to go back to like a marketing agent, a model agency.
I feel like you actually kind of have a little bit of a resume. Resume.
Resume. Words are hard.
Twilight. A resume now.
I kind of do, I guess.
Because we have this podcast.
Does anybody work in any industry where they hire voice actors? Hit us up in the DMs on Instagram.
Have you seen, sorry, tangent. Have you seen the Onyx Storm, I guess the Fourth Wing girl who is Violet on TikTok?
I'm confused. Is she actually Violet, or is she just making up like her own clips to like say like I would be a great, like she's
No, she's That was well,
Are
at
we
least the videos that
sure?
I saw.
Are we
She
sure?
records.
She records? What do you
Yeah.
mean? Like, are you
She
saying
was like saying a day in my life of being a voice actor for the Empyrean series. I'm Violet.
voice actor? I thought it was going to be a real life show.
I'm talking about the voice actor.
But I shot the show. I thought the show for the book. Oh, are you talking about for the audiobook?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. No, I haven't seen that.
Okay.
I thought there's this girl who she like makes it look like she's walking across the parapet with like some CGI. She's walking across the beam. She got her hair done up. I thought she was.
No, there's a lot of that stuff
I
on
thought that was like
TikTok.
cosplay. She was like, but she was cosplaying some
Yeah,
Fourth
probably
Wing
was.
scenes. I thought you were saying like those were official scenes from behind the scenes of the making of the show.
No.
I was gonna say because they don't usually show that kind of stuff. And no offense to that girl on TikTok, she's very beautiful, whatever, or not beautiful at all. I mean, she's average looking. She's
Okay.
just not how
Triggered.
Just not how I
I'm
pictured.
triggered.
Just not how I pictured Violet. You are not Violet Sorrengail to me. I am
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
No, but you know who is voice actor TikTok I would like to see?
Zayden.
Whoever plays Zayden.
Actually, I did see his TikTok too, I think.
I'm gonna find it. I need to look it up. Take a break.
We'll be back.
2 seconds later.
But you're really a violent little thing, aren't you?
That's not him.
It is.
Fascinating. You look all frail and breakable, but you're really a violent little thing, aren't you?
Something's off.
It's him, though.
Okay, but something's off. It's not the same. It's different when he's actually in the book.
Okay.
Is that the dramatized adaptation?
I don't think so.
I think it is. I don't think he's Zayden in my audiobook.
Okay.
It's popping up as on the dramatized version, not the normal one.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's a different
Oh.
person. It's Teddy Hamilton, I think.
All right, listen, ladies. You guys are throwing some heat down here with your male voice.
This is him.
I've been talking to some of the other bros. We don't appreciate it.
Oh my god.
Sexiest right out of a job, and Teddy's got to eat.
How do you know that's him?
You can tell.
What? How can I tell?
Do you? No.
I can hear it.
I can't.
Down here with your male voices, I've been talking to some of the other
I don't
bros.
hear it at all.
That's 100% him. It's Teddy Hamilton. That's who plays Zayden. So we went over it, and Teresa, the voice actor that she found was the voice actor for the dramatized version.
Yeah.
Though that's not the audio version that I listened to. I just listened to the straight up audio version. And then he was doing a clip, and Teresa's like, I don't see it. And I found it.
And the face doesn't match the voice.
I guess. Sure.
Threw me off a little.
Yeah. Okay. We got distracted. Back to you. Do you have a top comment?
Top comment. He does realize that divorcing his wife doesn't make his responsibility for his kids go away, right?
Right? Like, why is she going to want
Right.
to take him back now with all this extra baggage?
Exactly.
I know you're a piece of shit, and now you want me to take you back with your baggage? Yeah, get lost, buddy. I'd be laughing.
How
in
much
your face, too.
confidence do you have to
The one part she does say, his audacity kind of astonished me. It astonishes me, too. The audacity.
We should do an episode called The Audacity.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
Write it down in the Google Doc.
It's going in the Google Doc. All right, back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Trigger warning for domestic violence. Am I the asshole for showing my sister the same amount of care she showed me when my ex-boyfriend turned out abusive? My older sister Anna has always been opinionated and judgmental. She sees the world in black and white and barely shows empathy towards people, even her own family, unless they're exactly like her. She doesn't agree with my choices, can't understand that I want kids, and be a stay-at-home mom. She doesn't just understand, she critiques it every turn she gets to the point my husband can't stand her and has banned her from our house, and we don't allow our kids to spend time with her. I've never liked her, and the highest point of me not liking her was back when I was in college. I got in a relationship with Rob. I thought he was perfect. He seemed kind of funny, attentive. I won't get into words, but that relationship went from good to absolutely terrible. It only stopped when I called the cops on him and he was arrested, and I finally had the courage to leave and tell my family and friends. When I told Anna, I'm sure you can guess her reaction. She had no sympathy and asked why I haven't seen the signs. She was sure I was ignoring them and have the hot bad boy boyfriend and said, look where it's gotten me. I didn't argue with her. Frankly, I was just tired. I told her when she gets in an abusive relationship to never call, since the only thing I would do is just laugh at her.
Oof.
I've stopped trying with her and just focus on my husband, kids, and my 2 other sisters. Now on to the present. Anna's husband of 7 years put his hands on her a couple days back. I don't know the full story, but basically they were arguing and he ended up slapping her mid-fight as well as calling her horrible names. She left and went to her parents, and they called the cops on her behalf and he was arrested. My dad told me this and asked me to bake something for her to cheer her mood up, and I told him no. I told him that I'm not going to show care to that woman. I mean, she has our parents and her dog. What more could she need? It was on a call and I guess on loudspeaker since Anna freaked out and started yelling at me. I told her again, why should I care for a woman that ignored bad signs and got in a relationship with a bad man just because he was a doctor? She was hysterical and I cut the phone because her voice alone irritates me. My mom called me and said I need to sympathize with her and she won't talk to me till then. I just said fine. If she's willing to cut me, then she's cutting my husband and kids for a woman that barely visits them when she lives only 30 minutes away. My parents haven't talked to me since, and I honestly don't know if I'm wrong. I'm tired of being the one that's understanding and nice to her when I'm the freaking youngest and she can't spare a bit of empathy. Am I the asshole?
Ooh. This one's bad.
This one is bad.
I'm gonna say a little bit. I don't think anybody deserves anything like that ever. Like, no matter how unsympathetic you are, no matter how much you misunderstood, I don't think it's like fair to be like, karma. I don't know.
I think OP is thinking karma.
Yeah. This is like one of those situations that I just don't.
Just shitty all around.
It is shitty, and no one deserves that. So.
Maybe everyone sucks here.
Yeah.
Like, you don't owe that person anything, but at the same time, I feel like you are lacking your empathy out of spite, which may be justified. But shit.
I think it's different than like being cheated on and then like or doing the cheating and then being cheated on. That's like a different type of like emotional roller coaster. But
it's still pretty fucked up. She got in an abusive relationship and her sister says that's what you get for wanting the bad boy boyfriend. I mean, it's not just being cheated on. If you think about it that way too, when it happened to her the first time, it wasn't like her boyfriend just cheated on her and that's what you get for getting the bad boy. She got domestic violence done against her too. Like,
that's what I mean. Like, it's worse.
Yeah.
Are we on the same page here?
Or? I don't know. I feel like you're talking about the second situation of saying it's not like she just got cheated on. Like, OP should have sympathy, right? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying she should have sympathy. I'm just...
But you're talking about OP, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm trying to take what you're saying and put it to the first situation of when it happened to OP.
Yeah.
Not when it happened to the sister.
No, the sister was definitely out of line to be like, you asked for this, basically. Like,
yeah.
You were dating a bad boy. You should have known.
Exactly.
That's disgusting to say.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know, like, I don't think OP should have sympathy for her. I just think maybe, like, what she said could have been. Not, like, I don't think you should want your sister to be abused.
I don't think she said that. She didn't say, I hope you get stuck with somebody abusive.
Actually, she did.
No, she said. She did.
No. I told her when she gets in an abusive relationship to never call, since the only thing I do to her is laugh at her.
Right.
That's messed up.
But you said that she said, I hope you get in an abusive relationship. She just said, if and when
No.
you
She said when you do.
don't call me.
I think that's like a little bit different for me. That's a little too much. Everyone's sexier for me.
I feel like it's really messed up, but I can't fault her because I think it was warranted. But I think it's all messed up.
Hmm.
It's like an eye for an eye situation here.
Yeah, but it's also like you shouldn't fight fire with fire.
Right. That's fire with fire is an eye for an eye.
Is that the same thing? But they say don't fight fire with fire. That's a saying.
Right. And they also say an eye for an eye.
They don't say not an eye for an eye. They say don't fight fire with fire.
Right. Because the whole world burns down. An eye for an eye
Exactly.
makes the whole world blind.
Oh, is that a saying?
Yes.
Oh, you never heard that saying before? No, I haven't.
Top comment. Not the asshole. She can't just not give care and empathy and want the same back. Treat people how you want to be treated, but also treat people with the same respect you have for yourself. She didn't have either of that. So if your parents want to deal with that, let them and focus all your energy on your family.
Yeah.
It's the golden rule. Like, treat other people the way that you want to be treated. And
I agree.
when you fail to uphold that, don't be surprised when people don't want to treat you the way that they want to be treated. I don't know if I said that right. You treat people like shit. Don't be surprised when people treat you the way you treated them.
Fair.
The way that you treat people will come back to you. That's
Mhm.
what I feel like. That's the true meaning behind karma, is like, may not be the exact person or something, but you steal from somebody and somebody will probably steal from you in the future. I don't know.
What goes around comes around.
Bam. Look at that. Teresa said something witty.
Well, that's karma. That's like the definition of karma.
Yeah, I know.
What goes around comes around.
You guys are gonna have to applaud Teresa in the comments.
Why? I don't need a pity applause.
Because you never say anything like that.
What?
You never.
Wow.
I guess that's a little bit different from an analogy. That's a saying, not an analogy.
That was not an analogy.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Okay, bro. I'm moving on.
Good. Back to me?
No, you just went.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
Am I the asshole for telling my ex-boyfriend's daughter it's not my problem? I, 38 female, dated John, 40 male, for about 6 months. We had known each other for about a year before we started dating. We broke up 3 months ago. The reason for the breakup was because of his daughter, Tia, 16 female. From the very beginning, she was hostile towards me. Rude comments, putting me, my cooking, etc. down. Constantly referring to me as that bitch. She said I was the reason her parents broke up. False. They broke up 10 years ago, 9 years before I met John. I have a stepmom who went out of her way to try and push her way into my life. So I actively did everything I could to be the exact opposite. I tried to give her space. I tried talking to her, asking her what I could do to at least make things civil between us. Her answer? I could voluntarily leave this world. John was no help. He threatened to ground her, take her things away, but they were empty threats, and Tia would just continue her tirade against me. Her mother, Chloe, who honestly is awesome, even tried to talk to her and figure out what her problem was. Tia couldn't come up with one reason why she didn't like me. She just didn't. It all came to a head one night while they were at my house. We had ordered food and I went to go pick it up. When I got back, I found John in my dining room, sweeping up the remains of my grandmother's antique picture. My grandmother meant the world to me, so seeing the picture destroyed broke my heart. I demanded to know what happened, and Tia gave me a smirk and said, "Oops, it was an accident." I asked her how it was an accident, and she just shrugged and said something like, "I think I bumped into the table and it just fell off." There's no way that can happen. My dining table is heavy. You have to slam yourself into it to even shake the picture. I told them to leave and spent the rest of the night crying. The next day I called John and told him I couldn't do this anymore. He tried to talk me out of it, but my mind was made up. Fast forward to 2 days ago. I leave work and there's Tia. She started going on about John's new girlfriend, Jane. How Jane is a monster. Evidently, Tia tried her old tricks on Jane, but Jane gives it right back to her. Tia calls her names, Jane calls her names back. Tia insults Jane, Jane insults her back. The worst was that Tia accidentally broke something of Jane's, and in retaliation, Jane took Tia's phone and smashed it. I asked her if she had told her mom. She had, and Chloe decided that Tia wasn't going to go over to John's anymore. I told her something like, "It sounds like everything is settled then." Tia started crying, asking if that was it. I just looked at her and said, "Yep, your mom handled it. It's not my problem," and I left. I was talking to my sister about this last night, and she called me an asshole. She said that obviously Tia's hurting and needed me. She came to me for a reason, and the least I could have done was be a shoulder for her to cry on. I just don't feel anything. I think I'm just numb to Tia now. So, am I the asshole?
Karma's a bitch. I don't know. You don't know fucking shit to nobody. Not even a 16-year-old. 16, you are a young adult. It is time for life to slap you around with
Exactly.
reality.
16 is not that young.
No.
16, like, you cannot be, like, retaliating against your stepmom like this. At, like, 12 or 13, I can, like, maybe understand. But 16, like, you're almost an adult.
I could understand it. 16, 13, 12, and I can totally understand OP where she's like, yo, I am out of this relationship.
Yeah, oh, for
6
sure.
months, I'm done, bro. John, I'm not putting up with your
I
daughter's
don't care
shit.
how much I love you. I
I'm
can't
out.
live with this.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what age you are. You don't have to be there. That's a choice. Is it fucked up that John's new girlfriend smashed her phone in retaliation? Was it warranted? Yes. Was it fucked up? Yeah.
Kind of.
Especially like John having a psycho girlfriend. and
Yeah, it does sound that way.
Not really caring. But like, honestly, like, I don't know.
Tia needs it. Like, she needs a...
I'm kind of on new girlfriend's side a little bit because of OP's perspective. Like,
if I was John, though, I would be like, what the fuck? Know your place.
exactly.
But
if you're like,
obviously-
if you're like dating someone, you're like, yo, I'm not gonna be disrespected by that. You're basically an adult. You're 16. You know, old enough not to like try to bully me. You try to bully me, I'm gonna bully you back. You call me a bitch, I'm gonna call you a bitch. You break my shit, I'm gonna break your shit. You're old enough. If it was a 13-year-old and they broke something, smashing their phone, 16, 17, 18, you break my shit, I break your shit. That, I don't know, fair to me.
Yeah, it is a little extreme, though.
That 100%, 100%, but warranted.
I do think that this new girlfriend is good for Tia.
I do.
Because
she's
getting a reality check.
Reality check.
Yeah.
Life is slapping her around.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Damn. Go cry to your mom. Go cry to your dad. Go cry to your dad. I'm out of this relationship. It's been 3 months. You haven't seen me in 3 months. Go cry to your daddy.
She thought that OP was the worst of it. Yet now she's coming crying to her.
The thing that gets me is like, I dated your dad for 6 months.
Yeah.
Not 6 years.
Wasn't that long.
6 months, not 6 years.
Yeah. Top comment. I actually don't think Tia wants you back in her dad's life. She's just trying to stir shit and create drama. Once she's rid of the new girlfriend, she'll go back to her old tricks with you.
100%.
That's probably true.
That's kind of smart.
Smart of Tia?
Yeah.
All right.
Back to me.
Yes.
Am I the asshole for cutting off my parents because they plan on leaving almost everything to my disabled brother? My 24 female brother, 32 male, is a failure to launch. He's never been very smart. He did badly in school and never went to college. He tried 2 different trade schools, welding and mechanic, but he basically flunked out of both. He works at a gas station now. My brother and I are our parents' only children. They always treated us relatively equal until adulthood. They always insisted we earn our own way. They refused to pay for college or anything. I joined the military at 17, got an associate's degree while I was in, and my GI Bill went towards my bachelor's. I'm working towards my master's now. My husband and I have bought a house and have done well for ourselves. My parents, however, fully paid for my brother to try trade school twice. They've given him cash when he was behind on rent and countless loans. They support him cosplaying as an adult. Meanwhile, they never paid for my wedding, education, nothing. I don't really care so much that they didn't give me money, but the disparity in how they treated me versus my brother. Our parents are in their 60s now, and while they aren't that old, they're both in bad health and probably won't live another 10 years. They just recently started working on their will and notified us that they are leaving almost everything to my brother. But they want me to be their medical power of attorney, manage their estate, etc. I told my parents to give my brother everything and that I'm completely done with them. They told me to have some grace and understand the fact that he isn't very capable and need their support, even after they're gone. My mother had a doctor's appointment this morning and asked me for a ride since she medically can't work. I told her to ask her favorite child or pay for an Uber. Things have been tense and hostile. My brother called me to apologize and asked me not to be mad at him, but I told him that I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at our parents for not treating us equally, and he didn't do anything wrong. Am I the asshole?
Well, at least she's not taking it out on her brother, because it doesn't seem like her brother is a bad person or like wants to be like this. She did put disabled in the title, but I'm not.
Okay, so there's an edit. It says, I meant to put disabled in quotation marks.
Oh.
My mother refers to my brother as disabled, even though he isn't.
Oh.
She's had him tested for every kind of learning disability there is. He just has a below average IQ. She thinks that counts as a disability when it isn't.
Oh. Interesting. I think it is kind of a little harsh for you to be like, just like a little bit. I don't know. Just her mom is asking for a ride from her. She can't drive, and she's like, "Go ask your favorite center, order an Uber." That's harsh.
How would you feel if your parents said they're going to leave 90% of their will to
No, I know. Yeah.
After a lifetime of them paying for Unja's wedding, Unja's college, Unja's car, and they didn't pay anything for you.
Yeah.
And you had to earn all your own.
No, it's definitely like warranted. I think just as an outsider, it's kind of like hard to hear that. Like, oh, you're turning down like driving your mom to her doctor's appointments. I don't know. It's like kind of tough. But yeah, no, I think it is probably warranted, and she's built up this resentment for her entire lifetime.
Yeah.
What?
Wouldn't be tough for me.
Wouldn't it be tough for you?
I don't think so. Top comment. Quote, but they want me to be their medical power of attorney, manage their estates, etc. This is a huge ask, even if you stood to inherit. That you're expected to do all the heavy lifting and then be your brother's keeper after they pass it's a hell of a lot.
What a slap in the face to be like, okay, you're my power of attorney, but you're not getting anything.
Yeah, just because he's lazy doesn't make him disabled. And even if you even if you don't have the highest IQ, like, that doesn't mean you can't do anything.
I know.
You are not actually disabled.
But that's not really his fault that his parents are babying him.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not, you're a product of your environment.
Yes.
Your parents are like, oh, 2 + 2 is hard. Okay, don't worry about that anymore.
Here's $100.
Yeah. He didn't make it through trade school. Like, if you keep repeating the same thing, eventually you will get it.
Maybe.
I think so.
I feel like that's easier said than done. I don't think that's actually true, because
I don't know. I kind of do.
some people...
I kind of think it is. I could be wrong.
I don't think it means you're like a quitter, because you don't continue to put yourself in a situation that like you're just not right for.
But I'm just saying, if you spend enough time doing it, eventually you'll get it.
Mm.
And the only way, like, yeah, no. I 100% believe that. If you spend enough time doing something, you will eventually get it. And the only way to prove me wrong is to do it for infinity and not be able to get it. But we don't live that long. So you could do something your whole life. Maybe you just need an extra 5 years. Maybe if you had double lifespan, you could figure it out.
So you think if you wanted to be like a professional hockey player,
Yes.
you think you could do
100%.
that?
Okay,
until you made the NHL.
hold on. That's different
How?
because
With your logic.
no. There's a difference. Can I be a hockey player? Can I eventually, if I put enough time on the rink, I put enough time to playing the sport, can I get it down, play the game successfully? Will I be the greatest that there ever was? No. But will I be a fluent? It's like learning a language. Will I be a fluent hockey player? Will I speak English fluently enough? If I study and I keep learning every single day, will I be able to speak Mandarin after 5 years?
I think
Might maybe 5, 10, 15. Eventually you repeat something long enough, you get it down.
everybody has different walks of life. And
100%.
listen to me.
I
Stop
agree.
cutting me off.
I agree.
I think graduating college or university is a big hurdle for some people. And people could probably say, like, they see that as an achievement, as the same achievement as, like, being starring in the NHL. I think it's like,
Yeah.
It's about perspective. Like, something could be harder for somebody and easier for somebody else.
I agree.
Okay.
I'm just saying,
No.
if you stick to something long enough, you'll get
No, but
there.
you're saying you going to the NHL is not the same as, like, this guy graduating college.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Isn't that?
You ask, NFL is not somebody who can play hockey. Those are the people who can play the best hockey. I'm just saying, if I could get to a point where I am proficient at hockey, or like I know how to speak the English language, that's proficient. And then if you take the English language and you want to be a TV commentator for like a speech person, or you want to be a voice actor or something, that's another aspect. I'm saying I could go and play, I could go join a local team, I could play hockey. I know the sport, I know the rules, I know how to score a goal, I know what all the positions are, I know how the game works, I know how to play hockey.
That could be the same level, like doing the basic amounts, like to learn hockey could be the same level as just like graduating from high school for some. Like I'm saying
if you repeat all the grades long enough, eventually you'll learn it. If you are failing year after year,
and I think you're missing my point.
No, I think you're missing my point.
Okay.
I think he failed at something and his parents gave him an out and he stopped learning. If he kept repeating welding school, eventually you'll get it down how to weld. Eventually you'll get it down. Repetition. Habits, creating habits over 21 days and memorizing the same thing over and over and over again. Do you think that you are the smartest accountant out there?
No.
And why are you an accountant now?
Why?
Yeah. Did you repeatedly go to school day after day and keep going? Did you fail some courses and had to retake them?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got it the next time?
Because my parents told me to.
I'm just saying, you repeated and then you got it.
I didn't have a choice.
You learned some, you didn't learn enough, you learned some, you repeated, you learned a little more, and that was enough for a pass. But maybe you had to take the course 3-4 times. As long as you repeat and keep doing it, eventually you'll get there. And I think I have to truly believe that, because the only way to disprove that thesis, that if you repeatedly do something, you'll get better at it, is when you run out of time of life.
Okay. I'm not going to keep beating this dead horse.
Whack.
I'm over it.
Undo you.
Isn't there an update?
Oh, there's an update. Hey, so the consensus on my post was a bit of a mixed bag. I sat down with my parents and wanted to give an update and answer some stuff. My brother is not actually disabled. He just has a low IQ, just over 80. You need an IQ under 70 where I live to be considered disabled and to qualify for any sort of benefits. Okay, but that's pretty close.
I don't know how you even measure IQ.
Tests?
But is it like 80 out of what? Because I don't think how do you know that that's close?
I don't know. But
is it 80 out of 100?
But also, if you just take a test with never studying anything, how you expect to get a good score? I don't know. Okay, continuing. My parents had babied him because from a young age, he wasn't as smart as other kids and had a low self-esteem because of that and was quick to give up on things when they seemed too hard. He does okay on his own now. He works and pays his bills most of the time. He drives and lives with a roommate. On to the update. I sat down with my parents and explained that I've always felt like they treated me worse than my brother. They always emphasized to me that as an adult, you need to support yourself, figure things out on your own. I had to join the military at 17 because I knew they'd kick me out when I was 18. My parents never offered me any support outside of raising me as a child. They didn't buy my husband and I a wedding gift. They didn't offer much of anything. Meanwhile, they brag about having over $1 million in the bank and having succeeded from nothing. Meanwhile, they paid to put my brother through 2 trade schools that he failed out of, offered him money to start his own business. They've always bailed him out when he was short on rent. For me, it's not so much about the money, it's about the disparity in how we've been treated. It's obvious that they loved and cared for him more because they were willing to do these things for him and not me. But despite them not being there for me, I've still done really well in life. I've told my parents about all of this, and they were interrupting me and talking over me the whole time. They told me I'm not entitled to a dime when they die, and that I'm an adult and can handle myself. They just weren't understanding or even caring about my point. They told me I need to step up and treat them better, and that it's wrong of me not to take my sick mother to the doctor or take care of her because of money. Eventually, I just gave up on trying to talk about my feelings. They just don't care. I told them that they're adults and they're not entitled to anything from me. Just like they were never required to help me, I'm not required to help them. I told them to completely remove me from their will. I am not willing to be their estate executor, medical power of attorney, nothing. I don't want a dime from them at this point, and I suggested they spend all the money they saved over the years to pay for some really good nursing homes and buy an estate executor because I'm no longer willing to do anything for them. My mother was floored and asked if I'd really put my own parents in a nursing home. I asked if they'd really let their 17-year-old daughter join the army to get sexually harassed by older men in order to go to school without taking on a huge debt. My parents cried and yelled at me, and I left. And that's that, I guess. I kind of feel relieved, like a massive weight is off my shoulders. I have a wonderful husband. We own a nice home. I'm getting ready to start working on my master's degree, and we're thinking of maybe having a baby soon. I no longer have to worry about dealing with my parents. They're adults and they can deal with their own problems, just like I've done with mine. And yeah, that's it. Not sure if that's the update we wanted, but that is what it is.
Damn. Oh.
Damn. At
Sounds like it was good to get that off her chest.
Right, big relief. At one point I was like, they don't owe her anything, and just because they helped her brother more doesn't mean they loved her any less. And then it just went on. And I was just like, no, I think they were biased.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I don't mean to be like, you can do anything you want no matter what, and there's no excuses or anything, and his IQ is low.
That's what it sounds like.
And there's definitely people out there who struggle. But my question is for these parents, okay, like, did your son have such a low IQ because he was actually challenged? Or was it because anytime something was a little bit hard for him, you said, it's okay, you don't need to learn that?
Oh, I think they definitely enabled him.
Like when your kid comes home from school and he's like, oh, I don't understand how 3 + 4 = 7. And you're like, oh, don't worry about the math homework. You'll be fine. Or did you sit down with your kid and help him go through all of the school questions, all the things that he needs to learn, and help him learn, even though it may have taken a little bit of a longer time? Like, did you actually help, or did you just say, oh, you don't need to learn it, no big deal?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I am wondering on this IQ level. Is the IQ low because he's actually challenged? How much of that factors into the parents not being like, no, it's hard. You need to push yourself to learn.
Yeah.
Learning is a hard thing to do. You need to be okay with it being hard.
That is true. Like, it could have just all stemmed from the parents and just babying him.
That's what I mean. Like, if you just baby your kid all the time, you're like, oh, don't worry about learning it.
They don't learn to...
Right? Learning is hard. You have to try hard. But then there's also the balance of like, okay, no, you actually are having a hard time compared to other people.
Exactly.
That's so tough.
That is tough.
That's...
Where's the line?
Where's the line? Where's the freaking line? I need a shirt that says, where's the line? ThreadTalk merch. Where's the line?
Okay.
Back to you.
Am I the asshole for giving crappy Christmas gifts and ruining my marriage? I, 31 female, married my soon-to-be ex-husband, male 33, in 2018. My in-laws never liked me and made it clear. My soon-to-be ex-husband insisted that they're just putting up a tough exterior and they'll grow to love me. To show how evil they are, one time I joined them for dinner and brought a cake I'd made because I was always raised to be a gracious guest. When I stepped into the kitchen and offered the cake to his mother as a thank you for inviting me, she took the plate over to the garbage bin, dumped it in, and handed me the plate back. When I told my husband what she did, he confronted her, and all of a sudden the crocodile tears started as she claimed she grabbed the plate but didn't get a good grip. I let go too quickly and it fell to the floor, so of course it had to be thrown away. My sister-in-law confirmed that was what happened. My soon-to-be ex owned his own business, and they called me a gold digger behind his back. Of course, they insisted on a prenup, which I didn't care about because I never thought my marriage would end, and it would appease them and may allow them to finally treat me kindly. Nope. His business failed once COVID hit. We went through his savings and my own trying to keep it afloat. I refused to go into debt to keep it going, so he closed it down. In 2022, he was suffering from really bad depression because he lost his business and couldn't find new work. He suggested we move into his hometown, closer to his family, so he had a larger support network. Against my best judgment, we did. He wanted to only work part-time while he tried to restart his business, so I became the main breadwinner. And as with most wives, I became the person in charge of buying gifts. Stupid old me thought buying them thoughtful, expensive gifts would finally make them see I wanted to be accepted by them. Gifts to us were a couple's gift, but clearly for my soon-to-be ex only. Every holiday was spent with them, monthly dinners with the whole family. After a year, I realized that if I ever tried to talk or join a conversation, everyone would go quiet, so I just stopped talking when I visited. In early December, they finalized plans for Christmas. A few days later, my soon-to-be ex said his family decided they didn't want me to join for Christmas Eve dinner and Christmas lunch because I ruined the family vibe. I replied, "Fine, we'll do our own thing instead." My soon-to-be ex sheepishly looked away and said he was still going to go. I was livid and so disappointed in him. That was the moment I knew my marriage was over. So I returned the presents I bought for his family. In their place, I got one pair of novelty business socks for father-in-law, a supermarket brand bottle of shampoo for mother-in-law, the nastiest perfume I could find at the dollar store for sister-in-law. The most expensive gift was a large rawhide bone for brother-in-law and his wife's chihuahua, too big for it to get its jaw around, rendering it useless. I saved about $600 to put on a deposit for a new apartment. My husband came home from Christmas lunch telling me I humiliated him and embarrassed him in front of his family. I asked him why would he think I'd buy nice gifts for people who clearly don't like me and don't want me to be around. Served divorce papers last week. Remember how he was supposed to be a millionaire by now, so we had that prenup? Soon-to-be ex is not eligible for any of my savings. It was required to keep separate accounts. Or alimony. He doesn't have money for rent and auto insurance. Not my problem anymore. Some of my friends and family are on my side and proud that I went out in a blaze of glory. Others are telling me I was being way too petty, which isn't really like me. So am I the asshole?
Nope. Signed, sealed, and delivered.
Karma.
Karma's my boyfriend. I could not imagine my in-laws, your family treating me like this.
This is not normal. If anybody is going through this and you are listening, just know that this is not normal and you should not put up with this. This is not okay at any level. And just going to your in-laws' place and just feeling like you can't even speak.
Yeah.
You can't contribute to the conversations.
I realize I can't talk when I'm there.
That's enough for me to just be like, leave.
I just want the record to show that I love my in-laws.
That's you, Franca. What? What are you being sarcastic for?
I'm being sarcastically sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
I love my in-laws. They're great. Please help.
What?
Blink twice if you're in trouble.
Who are you talking to?
No, it's blink twice if you're in danger. That
Who?
movie we watched with Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
whatever his name is, that movie we watched
Yes.
in the server.
Blink twice.
That one.
You just say random stuff.
Awkward silence now.
It doesn't even make sense most of the time.
Not true. I make sense. People understand.
Mm,
Our people, they get me. Our followers, our fans, they get me. Our listeners.
okay.
Tell me you get me.
Top comment. Not the asshole. He chose his family over you and still expected you to buy all the presents. That is perfectly planned and well deserved for every one of them, including him. Oh, he replies, he only worked 12 hours a week at Walmart so he could do a non-existent work restarting his business. I make just over 6 figures and I can't believe I didn't realize years ago I was the family ATM.
That's wild. That's wild. Good riddance. But not.
Here's a prenup so you don't have to split my $1 million in my business that I'm gonna make. Buddy,
Are we getting a prenup?
what assets do we have? I get Jack and Luna.
You have a car.
I guess that is under my name.
It's licensed under me, but it's owned under you.
That's mine.
I have this business.
You do have this business.
You're half of it, but it's all under my name.
Damn.
Yeah, I could pull the
Maybe we
rug.
should get a
Pull the
prenup.
rug right out from underneath you. You have to keep your accounting job forever.
That scared me.
Guys, smash the like button so Teresa doesn't have to keep working her accounting job forever. No, I mean, what's the point of the prenup? I feel like everything is equal. And since like 7 years, 5 or 6 years, we've had a joint account, paying joint bills. Like everything has been equal. We both roughly made the same amount of money. Roughly.
Mm-hmm.
We split the bills evenly. Everything's pretty fair. Honestly, I wouldn't even want to get married if we were like signing a prenup.
You know, I used to think prenups were like
Evil.
like a bad juju on the marriage. I don't think that anymore, honestly. I think it's honestly really smart to have a prenup. Like, I'm watching Love is Blind, right? And they sign a prenup. Like,
imagine that.
definitely, in that
Imagine
case,
that.
definitely.
I feel like it depends on your relationship dynamic. I feel like our relationship dynamic,
I don't really.
bad juju.
I
Bad
don't
juju
really think it's dependent on the relationship. I think it's dependent on what you own. Because nobody goes into a marriage thinking that they're going to get divorced. Like in that one story that I read, I'm not a divorced person. I thought we were going to be together forever. Everybody thinks that.
Okay.
Everybody thinks that. Shit happens.
I agree with you. I changed my mind because if I had won the lottery like 8 years ago before you, I would be wanting you to sign a prenup.
Yeah.
If I was sitting over here with a Ferrari, I'd be like, hey, prenup.
Yeah, like
you got to protect yourself.
Exactly. It doesn't mean like you think you're going to get divorced.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks they'll get divorced.
We have nothing to protect.
Exactly.
we have our savings and everything, but like we are equal.
Yeah.
I feel like I should be farther ahead, but I was dumb when I was young.
You're 5 years older than me.
And you're a smart little accountant over there. So, hey, if we're counting assets,
I have Jack.
I have E36.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Big asset. That's where all my money's gone.
Big depreciating asset.
Yeah.
All right.
Back to me.
Too many tangents.
I know, we're going off over here. Back to me. This one's coming from r/confessions. I now own my parents' home and plan to evict them. Trigger warning for substance abuse and child abuse. Hi, folks. I hope you are doing well and that you're getting a lot off your chest where needed. So this is a story about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, so I worked hard and bought my parents' house. Now, I will admit this right from the start. I am not a good person by doing what I am doing. I'll have to give a little backstory to explain this whole thing. My parents married young, I wasn't planned, and when they were growing up, it was the standard thing that when you have a baby, you get your own place. It didn't matter if you rented or bought a place. So with my parents being young and with a baby on the way, they rented from this lovely fellow from Osaka, Japan, who we'll call Uncle Kiru. Now, Uncle Kiru was a wealthy man who made a lot of money from oil and property, But he started from nothing, so he knew that being young, you needed a helping hand to get people started. So he would rent out apartments and houses at lower than market rates for people who wanted a roof over their heads. He still made a profit, and because he had so many properties, he always had a steady income, whether there's a recession, floods, war, etc. Now, Uncle Kiryu was always generous to me and my family, helped where he could. We even had him over for birthdays and New Year's. He once brought me to the dentist when I fell and broke a tooth at age 11, and he paid for it without a question. Over time, as my parents got older, finished college, got better jobs, he helped them move from a one-bedroom apartment with no garden to a nice townhouse to a three-bedroom house right outside the city center in Dublin, all of which he owned and rented out to them. However, if Kiro has a fault, he always tries to see the best in people, even if their flaws are staring him in the face. The reason I'm telling you so much about Uncle Kiro is because he is very important in this story, and because I literally owe him my life. About 12 years after they had me, they unfortunately were in a car accident and had numerous injuries. My dad cracked his ribs, tore a muscle in his back, and dislocated both shoulders. My mom broke her leg in 2 places and shattered her right foot. Thanks to these injuries, they sadly lost their jobs. This was back when you could get away with making people redundant for long-term medical injuries. Thanks to the injuries and losing their jobs, they were stuck at home all day and could do very little except take painkillers and watch TV. I spent a lot of time with family, babysitters, or just hanging out with friends outside for at least a year while they recovered and went through rehab and surgeries. There is a part of long-term injuries that isn't always brought up: pain management. Between broken bones, torn muscles, and not being able to work, mom and dad were in pain and taking a lot of pills and injections just to function. And, well, pain medication can be quite addictive and can change you as a person. This was only too clear to see as my parents changed from proud, hardworking, loving people to addicts who cared about getting a fix. Once they recovered from their injuries, they couldn't get pain pills anymore, so they switched to heroin and alcohol. Once that started, the abuse soon followed. They teased me about everything, making me feel bad about getting 92 on a test, like why didn't you get the other 8%, stealing money that I was making at a part-time job I had as a waitress at a hotel. It's in our house, so it's our money. Complaining about having to pay for new bras or clothes when I outgrew them, which I unfortunately did a lot. Accumulating with me learning to sew/make my own bra extenders and repair tears in my clothes and school uniform. To this day, I still have an emergency clothes fund as a just in case. Guilting me into slowly doing more and more housework to the point my days literally consisted of get up, make their breakfast, go to school, occasionally go to work, come home, do the housework, make dinner, do homework, shower, bed. The moment that broke me was when I was 17. We had been fighting over something stupid. To this day, I still can't remember what, but I do remember what they said to me. My dad said, "You're just a lazy, good-for-nothing bitch. All you do is rip your clothes with your fat fucking tits and complain even though we keep this roof over your head and food in the fridge." And my mom chimed in, "So shut up, you're worthless, you're just going to be a waitress all your life anyway. You're not worth a fiver." This was followed up by a slap from dad and my mom spitting on me. Have you ever heard the expression, you can't see the forest through the trees? Well, that damn day lit a fire underneath me and I got ready to burn the forest down. What followed was me putting all my time into school and work. The next 5 years seemed to fly by in a month. I don't know how or why, but I turned into a machine and made something of myself. I finished my learning certificate, got into culinary college, passed with flying colors, and got a job as a prep chef in the hotel I was working at. I moved out of my parents' house and into an apartment. Thank you, Uncle Curie. Busted my ass and got promoted through the chefs, and after about 3 years, sous chef. I wasn't the best chef there, far from it, but until I made sous chef, I was paid hourly. So I worked every hour they would give, and that earned me a lot of respect. Plus, I would always clear the oil and water drains in the kitchens. I also saved up a lot of money for a rainy day. All the while, my parents fell deeper into their addictions. We kept our distance mostly. We saw each other on birthdays, Christmas, etc. Occasionally, I get a call to borrow money for food. Here's a tip. If someone asks for food money, offer to bring them shopping. If they're genuine, they'll jump at the chance. If they're not, they'll run. Whenever I visit, their house has fallen into disrepair. broken windows, torn wallpaper, burn marks everywhere, mold in the ceiling, etc. Broken plumbing. Seriously, I had to turn the water off to stop the second floor from being destroyed. Uncle Kiri notices, but they won't let him in to fix up the place. The moment that made my attitude go from, I'm going to make something of myself, to I will destroy you, was last Christmas. We went to a family get together and it was the usual party. Big turkey, way too much mulled wine, tons of pressies, old song about Odd Lane Scene, and everyone watching Mr. Brown's Boys. It's a popular show in our family. My lovely aunt was telling anyone who would listen how I helped save her daughter's wedding by catering the whole thing. I didn't. I just put her in contact with a friend of mine who specializes in wedding meals. And my dad, in his pill and mulled wine induced stupor, decided to rant about my career. He said, "A caterer? A fucking caterer? Oh no, I'm sorry. You're some big Ponzi chef. Why didn't you go into construction like me? Do something useful with your life, not some worthless career where all you do is peel potatoes all day." My mom, of course, decides to chime in and essentially mumbles some incoherent abuse, calling my work not a proper job. Anyone can do it. A cow like you isn't worth a damn fiver. Now, this is where they touched a nerve. I will admit, I'm a woman who has an ego when it comes to my work. I'm not at the level of Michelin star chefs, but I'm damn good at what I do. I worked hard to get there, and I know I'm worth something. Skipping forward a couple of weeks, and I'm at my Uncle Kiryu's house for his New Year's party. He always celebrates it in mid-January for some reason, and he's talking about work and how it is a good time to sell some of his properties that are vacant. And it hits me. What if I buy my parents' house? So Uncle Kiryu and I got talking, and he realizes that with the house in such a state of disrepair, it would cost a lot to repair. So he agrees to sell it to me at a cheaper price rather than having to fix it up. I'm not proud of this, but I convinced or outright lied to him that I wanted to buy the place to ensure my parents would always have a roof over their heads. Well, it took nearly 6 months, but soon enough, I got the confirmation from my lawyer and real estate agent that I now own my parents' 3-bedroom house and I'm the new landlord. As part of the sale, I asked Uncle Kiru to organize the transfer of the rent payments to my new bank account that I set up, and I've had him work as my intermediary with them, so they haven't had to meet the new landlord yet. I can't evict them yet. There is currently a freeze on evictions in my country, but once the COVID-19 crisis is done, they'll have 3 months to get the hell out. Then I can fix the damage they've done and move into my own home. Meanwhile, they're on benefits and can barely afford a damn meal, never mind somewhere to live. I'm watching the calendar, waiting for my day to visit and serve an eviction notice. I'm not the good girl or the hero of this story, but I'm worth more than a fiver.
Holy shit. That's wow, that is kind of crazy. She grew up with a rough childhood though.
Yeah.
It seems. This is more like revenge. Like karma.
I mean, isn't some karma someone's revenge?
I would like to think karma is the universe.
Right. I would like to think that these parents were shitty people in the universe and their karma is going back to them in the form of their child's revenge.
I mean, that's fair. That is true.
One person's revenge is another person's karma. Admit that's actually a good saying.
Is it?
That came off the top of my head.
Is it?
Like one man's trash is
Yeah,
another
I
man's
know.
treasure.
I get it.
Oh, you got that one.
Yeah, I got it.
You heard that saying before?
Yeah, I've heard it.
Mrs. Teresa Bitty Sanders never heard of any sayings. Soon to be Teresa too.
It's tough because it seems like they weren't always like this. It seems like the painkillers really did this to them, which is like a
sad.
tragic way to go out, basically. Like
It's kind of sad.
a tragic way to fuck up your life.
Be careful.
You know,
Be careful with pain meds.
that is so scary.
That is, because like it wasn't like, oh, I'm bored today, I'm gonna try some heroin.
Yeah.
Like that one guy.
Yeah.
It was like they got in a serious car accident.
Yeah.
And what did they do? They did
That's
what
really sad.
they did what was prescribed to them by their doctor.
Exactly.
Do you know what people did in the old days when they broke a foot?
No.
They got some wood, slapped it together, and that was it.
They didn't live as long as us.
Unless milk of the puppy was a real thing.
Huh?
Milk of the puppy?
Milk of the puppy?
Milk of the puppy?
Milk of the puppy? What are you saying?
Yeah, what do you think that is? Like, what do you think that
I don't even know
milk
what
of the
you're
puppy
saying.
is? Milk of the puppy.
Why'd you say it like that 15 times?
I'm trying to act old-fashioned.
No, I don't know.
I've always like wondered what it is.
I've never even heard of that.
Okay, so there's some people who never even heard of that. They're like, what the heck is milk of the puppy? What is Denver talking about now? And there's some people who are like, I know what Denver's talking about because it's a Game of Thrones reference. But I've also heard it. I've also heard it in like other. I've also heard it in like other old-fashioned shows, like back in medieval times.
Oh.
I think it was like their painkiller, like
Oh, it's not Poppy. It's Poppy, not Puppy.
Are you sure?
It's Poppy.
That would make a lot more sense.
Bro!
That would make so much more sense because
Milk of the puppy. Oh
because
my god.
don't poppies? Isn't that what you need to make heroin?
I think so.
And that's like a pain med for like back in the
Yes.
day. That's what they used.
It was always, I know from Game of Thrones, it was
Yeah.
always Poppy.
Yo,
Brother.
How did I go through 7 seasons of
I'm
Game of Thrones to get
dead.
puppy? No way.
Yeah, poppy milk.
I'm a fucking idiot.
I'm
That's
like, what are you talking about?
so if I
Milking a
said
puppy?
if I said milk of the poppy, you would have got that. That is from
Probably
Game of Thrones.
not. Probably not. But
Okay.
when after you said Game of Thrones, that made sense.
So I was still slightly right. Teresa wouldn't have known what my reference was.
Oh.
Well, that's embarrassing. I don't know how to continue from here. So I'm just going to go on to the update.
Just yeah.
Thank you everyone for the advice. Here is the answer to some of the questions I got. Will you tell your Uncle Kiru the truth? Yes, I will tell him the truth. We're meeting for lunch on Thursday and I'm cooking his favorite. Update with Uncle Kiru. Finally got a chance to meet with my Uncle Kiru. I invited him to taste some of our new dishes in work and admitted to him why I really wanted to buy the house. He nodded and said very simply, I know, I'm not happy about this, but I know why you're doing this. Once I convinced him that I wasn't planning on burning the house down, as he was very concerned about it for some reason, he gave me some advice and gave me the name of a management company, saying that he no longer wanted to be the intermediary. He asked if I realized they would have no home after this and that he cannot save them. I explained that I did. After that, he asked me to cook his favorite dish as punishment and made me promise to give him plenty of notice with the eviction proceeding so he could be miles away. Thank you to everyone who advised me to tell him. You were right.
For some odd reason, this episode, I'm feeling a little sympathetic. I'm feeling like the people in these stories maybe don't deserve everything that's coming to them. I don't know what it is, because in this situation specifically, like, they were...
I feel bad on this one.
I feel
if I'm
bad.
being honest. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, they didn't really ask for this. Like, yes, they are really shitty people to you, and that should not be excused.
I guess I feel bad because they got in a car accident.
That's what I mean.
They
like,
did what the doctors prescribed them, and this is where they ended up. It wasn't like, oh, I'm bored, I'm walking through the park, and I just accidentally picked up some heroin today, and I'm going to try it. Or even like, other, kinds of drug use. Like this one was full from
painkillers.
the system that we put trust in to help us in a time of need.
It's true. But at the same time, though, like, all of these stories where we're like really harsh on, we don't get the full story of like what made them be the person that they are.
Right?
Everybody is a product of their environment. Like,
I truly believe that.
That person that is being really shitty to their wife or husband, like, their parents probably treated them really shitty, and that's all they know.
The world's a dark place.
Like,
but
I don't know. I get.
But also, if you go by that theory too, that means that like everybody's shitty action is because of somebody else's shitty action.
I
So where
know.
was the first shitty action?
When did it start?
Where does the buck stop?
I'm so done with you. I'm so done. And now you're just making shit up, I swear.
No, the buck stops with me. That's a saying.
The buck?
I'm pretty sure BUCK. The buck stops with me. The responsibility for something cannot or should not be passed to someone else. That's a saying. Bam. When you are a minister, the buck stops with you.
Damn. Okay.
That's right. I didn't pull that one out of my butt.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'm more gracious towards the offenders in the stories. And sometimes I'm just like all in. You deserve what's coming for you. I don't care what you went through. And today I'm feeling a little too
Got the
sympathetic.
sympathy.
I don't know what it is,
It's
but
the hat.
yeah. It's
It's the ThreadTalk hat.
Yep.
All right, moving on.
Today I fucked up by cheating on my significant other and karma came fast. This happened about 10 years ago and we split up because of it. Before I go any further, I want to point out that I am fully aware of how shitty and inexcusable cheating is. I was young and made a mistake that I paid for immediately. This is my story. So one night, my roommate invited me, 21 years old at the time, to the beach to see a bunch of people that we knew from high school and hadn't seen since graduation. We had spent all night in the bar drinking and taking shots. Eventually, the bar closes, so me, my roommate, and the remaining members of our group decided to grab the coolers from our friend's hotel and head towards the water to finish the night off with a few more beers and listen to the water. The waves seemed to be appearing from a void. This is about the time things took a turn. We had been debating getting into the water, but this is not very smart at night, especially when you don't know the schedule of the tide. Plus, we were absolutely shit-faced. I was the first one to start heading that way, removing my clothes down to my underwear, when one of the girls we were with sprints past me. I turn around and everyone is naked. I admit that at this point, I had not even considered how my girlfriend would have felt about this, and I got naked too. We had been swimming for about 30 minutes when everyone started splitting up. This was during low tides, so you can go quite a ways away from shore and still be waist deep. I had come up to a sandbar with this girl that I had been friends with for years. Neither of us had even realized how far away we had strayed from the group or the shore. This is the moment I cheated. About halfway through the deed, I heard my roommate screaming our name at the top of his lungs. We were the only ones left out there, and the tide was coming in. We made it only a few feet from the sandbar when I noticed what looked like fireflies in the water. I quickly realized that these were jellyfish, and they were everywhere. We both frantically tried to hurry through, but they just kept coming. There were at least 50 to 75 that we could see. Suddenly, I felt a sharp sting across the back of both my knees. I grabbed my friend by the wrist and started to pull her, as I did my best to run because now shit had gotten serious. I made the one mistake that every beachgoer knows better than to do. I decided we need to get out immediately, and climbing the rocks would help. I didn't even get a single foot planted because my toe was immediately sliced open to the bone by a clam. Now I'm naked, pouring blood, and both of us had been stung all over. We started back towards the beach when I was doubled over in pain, shooting through my penis and balls. I thought I had been bitten by something, but it turns out a jellyfish had wrapped around my genitals. I had never been in pain like this before. When we finally got to the beach, we were surrounded by all of our friends who heard us screaming and had called the police because they thought we had come across a shark. It's now almost 5 a.m. and the experience had completely sobered me up. The police were surprisingly cool about the whole situation, and one of them offered to walk us back to the hotel. Fast forward to later in the morning when my roommate had driven us home. When we got home, I started evaluating my injuries. I definitely needed stitches, but opted out because I didn't have insurance at the time. My penis looked horrendous, however. I couldn't even believe what this jellyfish had done to it. It was swollen, tender, and was a different shape. I took a handful of ibuprofen and took a shower before passing out for the remainder of the day until the evening when I wake up to my girlfriend crawling in bed with me. My heart sank. She knew I had gone out the night before, and my roommate informed her of my rough night, excluding the fact that I betrayed her. She was there for maybe a total of 10 minutes before I completely broke down and confessed, but did not tell her about the cut or the jellyfish. She never looked at me, never cried, and left without saying anything. I saw her about 4 years later in a bar. She approached me and asked if we could talk for a while. She told me that she was never mad at me and that after some time, she was just happy I was honest. After the fact, she noted. To which I replied, "Well, I've got something to tell you about that night that you're going to love." She fucking loved every second of hearing the rest of the events from that night. We both laughed pretty hard about it. I paid for her tab and left. We haven't spoken since.
I feel that's good karma. I mean, that's a great karma story.
That's a great karma story.
I feel better about that. I don't have any sympathy for this guy.
No,
Bro,
no.
That's
He got what he deserved.
That's some karma there.
Yep.
Oh man, the cut. Oh,
Jellyfish on your genitals?
yeah, that's worse. Fuck, that's crazy.
I could not imagine, like, the fear of seeing like 75 jellyfish around me. Oh my god,
Yo,
that's a nightmare.
I've got mad fear of the ocean now. I don't think I could go in at night anymore.
Oh, I would never go
I don't
in
know.
at night. It's so scary.
I've done like when I went to the first time I went out resort, I was playing beach volleyball all the time, like before I met you, and like there was like a group of us, like young people, and we decided we didn't go skinny dipping, but we went out for a swim at
couldn't
like
do that.
midnight after like drinking and stuff like that. We went out for a
Yeah.
dip. I don't think I could do that anymore.
I don't think I could either.
got fears of the ocean now,
Me
getting
too.
swept away and stuff.
It's scary.
Yeah, damn, that was a good story. I got another one that will make you chuckle.
Okay.
So this is not a Reddit story. So this is I just read this on Facebook, and I just laughed so hard. So here we go. Yesterday, a friend told me what might be the best story I've ever heard. She had caught the train in from Frankston, and while she was waiting for the train to come, she noticed a man sitting down on the platform with a bag of fish and chips. But he wasn't really eating them. He was just sort of letting them air. This attracted a few seagulls, who began to circle the platform. Instead of shooing the birds away, the man offered them a few chips. He would toss one a foot or so away from him. It was like he was beckoning them to come closer. He kept doing this, eking the chips out slowly, until there was a big group of seagulls in front of him, 15 or 20, a tiny army. He'd throw them a chip every now and then, just enough to keep the birds interested, but not enough to sate them. It was frustrating. They were getting angry, squawking. It was like he was rearing them up for something. Then the train came, and everyone got on, but the man stayed on the ground with his chips. Just when the train was about to leave, it happened. Right before the doors closed, the man threw the entire bag of fish and chips into the train. The entire flock of seagulls followed the bag, and the doors closed. Inside the train, pandemonium. The next train stop was 5 minutes away.
Why would he do that? Just sick? Sick in the head?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Okay, but do you think that someone on the train had done something shitty that day, and this was their karma, getting stuck in the train with 20 seagulls in their train car?
That's funny.
The high probability of that.
Could be. Like, someone could have just dropped these jellyfish in the ocean at the right time.
That's a stretch. So comment on this. Once I pimp slapped a seagull into a cafe. I thought it was a ball being thrown at me, but it was a flying gull, and I instinctively batted away into a cafe table full of people. The chaos was unimaginable.
That's really sad.
You do get that sometimes out of your peripheral, and you're just like, protecting yourself, and it's a seagull, and he goes right onto someone's table
That's
because
actually
it's like
really sad.
an outside cafe.
That's sad.
Oh,
I don't like harm of any animals.
I'm sorry. Have you ever heard of the shopping cart theory?
No. Fuck.
The shopping cart is the ultimate litmus test for whether a person is capable of self-governing. To return the shopping cart is an easy, convenient task, and one which we all recognize as the correct, appropriate thing to do. To return the shopping cart is objectively right. There is no situation other than dire emergencies in which a person is not able to return their cart. Simultaneously, it is not illegal to abandon your shopping cart. Therefore, the shopping cart presents itself as the apex example of whether a person will do what is right without being forced to do it. No one will punish you for not returning your shopping cart. No one will fine you or kill you for not returning the shopping cart. You gain nothing by returning the shopping cart. You must return the shopping cart out of the goodness of your heart. You must return the shopping cart because it is the right thing to do, because it is correct. A person who is unable to do this is no better than an animal, an absolute savage who can only be made to do what is right by threatening them with the law and the force that stands behind it. The shopping cart is what determines whether a person is a good or bad member of society.
Damn. Didn't know it was that deep, but I agree.
It's kind of facts.
I agree.
That's kind of facts.
Yeah.
That's almost like, you
Like,
know,
you can just tell who a person is.
that should be like a new relationship test.
Do
Pro
First
life hack for
date.
you. Pro life hack for you. Third, fourth date, go on a little grocery shopping trip. Make some excuse to go to Walmart or something to go pick something up. Make sure you get enough to get a cart to walk it back to your car. Make sure they're the one in control of the cart and see what happens. Do they just leave it there or do they return it?
That is a great, yeah.
That I feel like is and like, you know, don't break up with a person because they didn't return the shopping cart, but maybe have a conversation with why they didn't return the shopping cart and dig into their brain a little bit. And if they flat out think I don't need to do it, I think that's going to be a tall sign about other aspects that they believe in.
Yes, I agree. I think also just like going to a restaurant and just seeing how that person treats waiters and waitresses.
That's pretty good.
I think that is like very telling. People who treat
Service staff.
exactly differently or like with respect. That's the kind of person I would want to be with.
That's me.
Yeah.
I do that. All right.
Alrighty.
It's a good episode.
Yeah.
Carmen is my boyfriend.
Carmen is a... Well, how does it go? Carmen is a cat. Purring in my lap because it loves me.
I do just want to put out a PSA out there. If any of our any of our loyal followers are related, cousins, second removed, third cousins of an assistant to Taylor Swift, please
Tree Pain.
help us out and like let's hook Teresa up with a meet and greet, a location for stalking purposes, anything to get us slightly closer to Taylor Swift. If anybody is at all inside the Taylor Swift circle and is also a fan of us, please help Teresa's dreams come true. That she can do something with Taylor Swift.
Not counting.
If you got her socks or anything, an old t-shirt,
Wow. I would love that.
a toothbrush,
I would love that.
send it our way. We appreciate you. Q&A?
Q&A.
Question for Teresa. You have mentioned that you are an accountant. Are you a CPA or what field of accounting do you work in? Do you enjoy it? Asking because I am an accounting major. How was the career progression after university? All right, Ivan, here's the breakdown, bro.
So I am a CPA.
Also, Canadian and American CPA is different. What's the difference?
I think in America, CPA means chartered public accountant or certified public accountant. Whereas in Canada, it's chartered professional accountant, which I think the discrepancy is in Canada, you can work in private or public. And maybe I could be wrong. In America, you have to work in public to get your CPA. Could be wrong.
That's a great thing. So I Googled it. The U.S. CPA and Canadian CPA designations, while both signifying professional accounting achievement, differ in their scope and requirements, with the U.S. CPA being more focused on U.S. GAAP
Gap.
and the Canadian CPA emphasizing Canadian accounting standards and broader skill sets.
Okay, that doesn't really answer my question. I could be totally wrong about that. But yes, I'm not an accountant anymore though. Not really. My career progression, do I like it? It pays the bills. I mean, I worked in public accounting for 3 years, got my CPA, and I left after I got my letters. Career progression was great in terms of like salary increases. I think it's like one of like the best professions to like have those jumps.
Would you like to share rough numbers of your
I mean,
jumps from job to job?
I don't mind. I think I started off at 45K right out of
Canadian.
university.
Canadian.
And then I got promoted. That was as a junior accountant. Then I got promoted to an intermediate accountant at 55K. But then I left that job right after my promotion and I started a new public accounting firm starting at 60K. So I basically jumped up 15K in a year. And then, wait, was that? Oh, yeah, no, and then junior. Wait, and then intermediate. I was an intermediate at 60. And then I think I went to senior at 74. I think it was 74K. And then the next year I was second year senior, which was 85K. So within 3 years in public accounting,
Doubled.
not doubled, but I guess almost doubled. I started at 45. Yeah. I think the starting salary now is higher than 45.
Inflation.
Yeah, inflation. But I think like seniors still roughly make around 85. But yeah, then I left because the hours were just really rough. As you would probably know, if you're in accounting, you know, like public accounting is treacherous, especially during busy season. You just have to work horrible hours and it's basically your entire life, and I didn't want it to be my whole life. So I then applied for a software position at a construction accounting company. It wasn't that great there either, so I left within 6 months. And now I'm at a different software company, which I love. And this company specializes in like FP&A and budgeting, and it's really great. I will say my job doesn't require a CPA. My entire team mostly are comprised of CPAs, but it's not like you can't get your hours here even. So it's like, I think a lot of jobs, and I was talking to my manager and she was like, they're hiring, but they're looking for CPAs. And this job, like, you don't need a CPA. You really don't need a CPA, but they're looking for CPAs. So I feel like getting your CPA will just give you more advantages, more, what's it called?
Opportunities.
More opportunities, exactly. More opportunities, even if the job doesn't necessarily require a CPA. I think people will look at you and hire you faster than people who may not be a CPA.
Gold
So if you're
standard.
considering getting your CPA, I would say stick through it. It was worth it.
Very nice.
Yeah, that was long-winded. Sorry.
No, it's good. Giving a little peek inside for the accounting industry, you know. Next one. Teresa.
Why are they all for me?
During the Emma story, I would be evil towards everyone involved in this situation. Question for you both. What music besides Taylor Swift have you all been listening to?
You go. You first.
I mean, me, I guess I have this playlist. It's a very short playlist. I don't know. Like, what do I have on my playlist? Like Californication, Sunglasses, Vacation, Sunscreen. I don't know what kind of songs they have. I grew up on like Eminem and 50 Cent. I don't really listen to that. I also like some like old school AC/DC.
You do?
I have some of that in my playlist.
What?
Like sometimes if I'm feeling it, like you can't go wrong with some AC/DC. Like just their top
I've never heard
hits.
you listen to ACDC.
You have. You just
Wait, which song? I don't even know an ACDC song.
Thunderstruck.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. I have
There's
heard
a
you
couple,
listen
just
to it.
like two, a little bit of Linkin Park in there for me. I have this like playlist that I just have on like repetition. I like
Yeah.
the Jay-Z song, like New York, New York, and like Run This Town.
Empire State of Mind.
Oh, that's it. It's not New York, New York. It's Empire State of Mind. That's the song. Yes.
Yeah.
And then Teresa, just Taylor Swift.
I primarily listen to Taylor Swift.
And Ed Sheeran.
I actually don't listen to Ed Sheeran anymore.
You know, it has been a little while.
I used to listen to Ed Sheeran and Lana Del Rey were like my tops.
You used to do a Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran mix.
Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, and Lana Del Rey were like my 3 faves. They're, I think, the only people I've actually ever seen in concert.
Yeah.
And Justin Bieber.
Yeah. And for me, I don't like new music. I try new playlists and I just find new hip hop and rap is just trash nowadays. There's very rarely will I enjoy a new music playlist like top hits, top 100 or anything like that. So we just play Taylor Swift in the car.
That's very nice.
That's pretty much it. Teresa never gets tired of Taylor Swift.
No.
And I'm just so tired of all the music that I know that we listen to Taylor Swift.
You actually kind of like it.
It's not bad. You know, like I said, if you do something long enough, you start to get good at it. You listen to Taylor Swift long enough, you start to enjoy it.
That's good.
Although no matter how, to play devil's advocate on what I said, I do not think that no matter how many times I listen to Taylor Swift songs, am I ever going to learn the lyrics. My brain just doesn't click like that. So I may stand corrected by myself.
Yeah.
Heavy question for Teresa. Why doesn't Dever talk to his mom?
You want me to answer?
No, let's move on. Q&A. Denver, why don't you talk to your mom anymore? Teresa, where does the fear of black socks stem from? And to both, what does bud a nut, or however it's spelt, mean? Denver signed out with it often, but I want to make sure if I implement it into my vocabulary that it isn't something bad. Bonanot! Teresa was reading that, had no idea what the hell you were talking about. She was like, I don't. She's like, I don't understand this. Can you look at this? Do you know what this person's talking about? And I didn't really get it either. And then I read Denver always signs off. I was like, oh, it's bonanot. Bonanot is good night.
In Italian.
In Italian.
It's actually...
Technically, it's buonanotte. A lot of things end with otte. And I shortened that off. So you get buonanotte. I'm trying to think of other things. It's non mi piace, but I say non piace. I
Mangia.
Exactly. I Canadian Italian it up and I chop the A's off the end. So that's how that is. And your fear of black socks, do you know where it stems from?
I have no idea. Could not tell you where it comes from. I just know my cousin also is the same. So maybe it's in my blood.
Interesting.
In my DNA.
Interesting. And as far as my mom question goes, I do talk to my mom.
As of recently.
We were...
You haven't said that.
We were 10 years estranged for a very long time. Very complicated reasons. Honestly, it's really complicated, really deep. I don't know when I'd feel free to open to talk about that. If I ever do, it might be on Patreon. So.
Great way to promote the Patreon.
Right? We got to throw in the Patreon. You
probably won't ever talk about it, though.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't want to make any commitments or promises because I don't know. But there's other great reasons to sign up for Patreon. Give them the sales pitch, Teresa. Patreon episode 44 is coming up on Friday. We're going to give you guys more Karma is my boyfriend stories. Like, What did I have left over? Today I fucked up by exposing a customer's affair to his wife. From the True Off My Chest subreddit, I'm going to marry her one true love.
Oh.
From Best of Redder updates, my cousin asked my daughter to perform at her wedding reception, but became bitter upon seeing the positive reception to her act. So those are coming up for you guys on Friday's Patreon episode. There's also 44 episodes that you can binge. So you know what we're going to do? Teresa and I talked about this. What are we going to do, Teresa? We're going to offer you guys a 7-day trial.
Oh, are we? Oh, also, I don't know if we said this before, but we have an annual.
You said that last episode.
Did I? Okay.
Yep. But in case you're wondering about Teresa's reaction there, I lied. We did not discuss that earlier.
I was going to say, I don't know.
You don't remember? We talked about it.
No, we didn't.
We totally did.
Gaslighting me.
Reminds me of Modern Family when Phil wanted to build the treehouse in the backyard. Honey, I told you about this last week. I swear, you never listen to me. It's like you tone me out. Brilliant.
Tune.
Same thing. Brilliant. I'm going to save that one in my repertoire for the future. You got any life updates?
We did maple syrup on the weekend.
And we built an igloo.
We built an igloo. So Canadian of us.
That was fun.
I never used to do anything like that before I met you.
Mhm.
That's like country Canadian.
Remember when we went to Mont Tremblant and
Yeah.
we got the maple syrup and we poured it into the snow and we paid for it?
Yeah.
Got that for free on the
I got
weekend.
that for free. It was really good. It
Yeah.
tasted the exact same.
Exactly. Maple syrup.
It's
Maple syrup.
delicious.
Maple syrup is maple syrup.
Yeah. You should post some photos on YouTube of the igloo.
Okay, I will. I got stuck with the snowmobile on the dirt bike track.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I swear, guys. You know what I kept thinking when I was trying to get myself unstuck in this deep snow? The snow was like 2 feet deep. Like my foot went, it was like kind of hard, but when your foot sank through, up to your kneecap. But you know what I was kept thinking? Remember that time that you said a very high cause of heart attacks is plowing snow?
Yeah.
I'm shoveling snow. I have the jacket on, helmet on, gloves on, heart rate's at like 210. I had to like strip down. I took the helmet off. I had to take my winter jacket off. I'm sweating. On my heart, I can feel my heart like exploding. I'm working so hard.
That
I'm just
scares
like,
me.
I'm going to have a freaking heart attack at 31 because of Teresa. Put this in my head.
That's me. If I was there, I would have been so scared.
Yeah. It was
I'd
all
be
right.
like, babe,
That's
relax. I'll do it.
You would have been scared on the back of the snowmobile. You've been terrified going over the jumps. I was hitting jumps.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, brah, brah, brah. Anything else?
Updates? We stayed at your cousin's house for the weekend.
We did. We went and hang out with my
Played
cousin
some games.
out near Kingston area. Played some games. Saw some bunnies.
Oh, yeah, they have bunnies. They're so cute. And 3 giant dogs.
Huge.
Like the size of me. Like if I got on all 4.
They said they were 170 pounds.
Yeah. More than me.
Almost as much as me.
That's crazy.
Insanity.
Yeah.
It was a good time. Good weekend. And anything else? You have a little note here at the bottom.
Oh, Denver. This is like so not necessary to say,
This
but
was Teresa's idea.
no, it was your idea. You said we should say that on the podcast.
I said as like a sarcastic joke, like you were like, this is such a momentous achievement.
Guys,
Oh my God. And I was like, oh yeah, it's so good. You
No,
should
no.
put it in the life
I need
updates
to
category.
know. I need to know if
What does Teresa do? She whips out her phone, opens up the Google Doc, and throws down a note. I didn't think you were going to do that. I was being sarcastic.
Well, the 7.5 years that I've known Denver,
Not true.
almost 7.5 in May,
Okay, I think that is that's accurate.
almost 7.5 years that I've known Denver. He has had the stupid flash on his phone every time someone texts him, every time he gets a notification, every time someone calls him. It's like a fucking rave.
So if you don't know this, in the iPhone settings, you can have strobe turned on for notifications.
Why the heck would you?
So you'll get like 3 flashes on your flash whenever you get a message. When I first got my iPhone set up, I thought it was cool. And then when I went into sales, I didn't really want to turn it off because I didn't want to like miss a customer's call or something like that. And
Put on
then
vibrate.
it went off when we were in the car driving home, and I was finally just hit me. I was like, you know, why do I have that?
The growth is crazy.
It's like, why do I need that? And ever since I started the podcast, by the way, thank you guys for your support, for smashing the like button, joining us on Patreon, and just dropping 5-star reviews on Spotify, and joining the YouTube members, and checking out ThreadTalk podcast. Thank you for all the ways that you guys support us. I realized, why do I give a shit about my phone anymore? I leave my phone places and I don't look at it. Sometimes I don't care if somebody texts me. I don't care if I missed a phone call. I'm trying to be more device free in my life. I'm trying to be not so iPad kid attached to my phone. So I was like, you know what? Let's turn off this strobe light. Teresa's always made dirty comments about it. So let's finally make Teresa happy.
It's irked me.
I was like, what's the big... I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
Growth.
Not only has it irked me, it's embarrassed me. It's embarrassed me going out in public with you and your fucking strobe. Oh my God, you have no idea
I don't know
how mortifying that is.
I don't think we need to go that far.
No, it is.
That's a little...
As me,
That's a stretch.
me, who gets very embarrassed very easily.
That's no longer a stretch.
Mortifying.
No longer a stretch. But
yeah, I thought that was some growth for Denver. 31 years of age and it's maturing.
okay.
If anyone has that on your phone, I'm sorry to offend, but take it off.
No.
Take it off.
If you enjoy it, you stick to it. I just came to the personal decision that I no longer need this in my life, and I disattached.
I'm happy.
Thank you.
That's all for me.
All right, guys, we appreciate all
Sorry
of
for
your
the
support. I hope you
blabbering.
guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next week on episode 71.
Bye.
Bye.
I wanted to be petty during my stepsister's wedding, but karma got her and my family. Sorry. I wanted to be petty during my stepsister.
Okay. I'll have OP remove you from the...
I can't.
I'm almost there.
I can't take you seriously, bro.
I've almost got this.
Evidently, Tia tried to. Evidently, Tia tried her old. Oh my. Evidently, Tia tried her old.
Hurry,
Today I fucked up, but...
hurry.
Dennis, they're gonna plow you over. Dennis,
They're coming, Dennis.
you gotta move over this way. Watch out for the tree! Dennis, watch out. Dennis.